Alright, welcome to another great weekend of UltimateE. This is the Lockdown All-Stars and we're at Silverstone. We're here for the last 4.5 minutes of practice. We then go into qualifying and then have an exciting 30-minute race ahead of us. Looks like it's going to be a cracker this weekend. I have Aditya alongside me and he's here as well. Aditya?
Hi Anjan, thanks for the warm welcome. And yeah, you're right, it's going to be a cracker. We're really looking forward to this one. It is the lockdown, so it's a one-off race. There's no particular point system for a change. So, drivers are going to be going all out from start to finish in this race.
It's going to be unbelievable to watch. I mean, we haven't done this format before. It's the first time we're trying it out. I think it's going to be great to watch because it's going to be 30 minutes, a lot of strategy involved, a lot of pit stops. These drivers are going to be going head-to-head. But before that, we've got qualifying. We've got 20 unbelievable drivers on this grid. Do you want to shed some light on them out there?
Yeah, as you can see, most of these guys have been racing with us the last few weeks. The likes of Arjun Maini, Sai Sanjay, Karthikeyan, and not forget Narain Karthikeyan. So they've been providing us with some great racing. And it's always great to see them come back again and again. And this weekend we're here in Silverstone rather than the American circuits that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. So it provides us something different, at least some greenery and not the dull brown that we see in America.
Greenery, fast corners, unbelievable fast straights. It's going to be great racing because there's a huge amount of opportunity to overtake as well.
Yeah, Silverstone always provides for some great action when it comes to overtaking, and I think that's what all these drivers really look forward to about this circuit. But again, you have to remember it's the historic Silverstone circuit. It's the one before they made all the changes that you see in the modern day Silverstone.
Which the F1 currently uses. I think this is still going back to old school. We've still got a couple of iconic corners on this circuit. This circuit is fast, it's flowing. You guys have driven there before, so you know exactly how fast it is, how flowing it is, how bumpy that entire track is in real life. On the sim system, we've got some iconic corners. We've got Maggots, Beckett's, we've got Chapel, we've got Vale, we've got Club, we've got Luffield, we've got Woodcote, we've got Abbey. These corners, I mean, this is where Formula One started. This is called the home of motor racing. And that said, see people across the world that's been able to play this on their computers, on their PCs across the world. It's actually been brilliant. It's actually gotten a lot of people to experience the circuit apart from people who drive there.
Yeah, and that's the special thing about online racing. You get to be, today you're in Austria, tomorrow you're in Japan, day after you're in America. Every day you're in a different part of the world, but you're sitting in your own bedroom. It's great stuff to watch.
I think it's great when you look at manufacturers and sponsors and take a look at this because it's you don't really need overheads for this apart from a PC and apart from a simple sim setup. You can actually get down, go racing, no problem. You wake up in Australia, you go to sleep in Silverstone. It's brilliant and no one's really spending money to fly you across the world. It makes for cheap racing, it makes for easy racing, but it also makes for some really, really exciting racing. At the same time, we've got in the session that we have right now, Aditya, let's just go back here for a second. We've got about a minute left on practice. We've got Arjun Maini in the lead, but the pack behind him all the way down to 7th place, very, very close.
It is very tightly packed, and all these guys, I'm pretty sure we'll see them get a lot closer in qualifying. And from what I understand, they are playing right now a little bit with setups because the car setups for this particular event are open. Unlike what we've had the first time we ran Formula 3 as part of UltimateE. So that's actually going to shake things up a little bit. And I know people are working on their setups right now during this session, and qualifying is definitely going to be a lot closer than what we're looking at right now, even though this is really, really close.
Absolutely. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the setup matters. So if they get it absolutely right in this last, let's call it practice session that they have had, they could get it spot on in qualifying. This being sim racing, we've never seen a guy from pole get a start and then get away in the front. It's always been a little bit of manic, a little bit of chaos up in the first corner. So it's great to see that these guys are so close together up in front, because then going into T1 at the race, it just might pull a few surprises. Who knows? You just might have the guy from 10th place coming up into first. One never knows with sim racing, right?
We actually seen that. We've seen that in the last few weeks, how people have been coming from all the way behind up to the front, and just the most unexpected things happen. And what's great is that the drivers actually can walk away without paying a damage bill or without any injury of any sort. But we've seen some crazy incidents. We've seen cars flying, we've seen cars just shatter in the barriers,
A
but at the
couple
end
of
of the day,
weekends,
everybody's safe.
a couple of weekends ago, you actually had a car doing a cartwheel, come back on all four wheels, but I think he retired after the race. But there have been some really, really interesting things to see. But then we're done with practice. We have just gotten into qualifying. So guys, if you've just joined us, we're just starting qualifying. This lockdown UltimateE sim racing session. At this point in time, we have about 9 minutes left for qualifying. We've got some great names. I'm just going to come to them with Aditya very quickly. We're also racing at Silverstone, so home of motorsport. This is going to be wonderful to watch. Aditya, so this qualifying session, you've got the big names, Narain Karthikeyan, Amit Kuti, Arjun Maini, Sohail Shah. You've got all these guys in there, and then you've got the lesser known guys. You want to shed some light on them?
Yeah, I mean, apart from having these names that you mentioned just now, you've also got your usual guys from the regular National Racing Championship, guys like Chetan Korada, Vikas Anand. You've got somebody from New York, Ankush Yaturu, who's just a sim racer who wanted to join us because he saw our live stream. Najib Ahmed, who's again a really young talent, another sim racer. So a lot of these guys, apart from just sim racing, they do race. Some of them also are just sim race drivers. And then you've got Ronnie Wechselberger, who's a stunt driver from Germany.
Yeah.
So
It's great to have him here. It's an unbelievable mix of people. But yeah, then I think we've just got to get into qualifying now. I think we've got some great talent on this grid. Brilliant mix of people, brilliant cast of characters. We will get talking to them eventually as we go along, so it should be fun to hear from them and see what they have to say as well. In the meanwhile, we're just seeing a couple of people set their outlaps. They're just taking their time, getting into the zone, getting into sort of qualifying. We've also got a whole bunch of we've also got these guys, like Altya said, playing with car setup. So if they got that right at practice, it should be down to the wire in qualifying. Altya, with 7 minutes left to go, do you think in their first rounds is going to come out on top?
I can imagine Arjun Maini is definitely going to be on top. I would put my money on him because he's just been quick right through, and I'm sure he knows the circuit like the back of his hand. But you can't rule out Sai Sanjay. Sai Sanjay actually was super quick in last week's GT3 championship. You know what's interesting is Sai actually, in terms of points, if we remove fastest laps from our point system, he actually won that championship by 1 point over Arjun Maini. Arjun Maini got fastest laps in all 4 races and won the championship by 3 points. So that's how good Sai also can be.
That's unbelievable. He's matching an actual Formula 2 driver on pace. Driving sim systems. That's a quick young guy that we've got on our hands here, and hopefully some future talent for Indian motorsport.
Yeah, absolutely, and not just Sai, but Amit Kuti as well.
Amit Kutti's been so consistent. What surprised me watching him all through the last couple of weeks, it doesn't matter what platform you throw at him. He's just quick on every single type. It could be the PC on iRacing, it could be the PlayStation on Formula 1, but he's just been so consistent all through, and he's also been giving the guys on top, like the Arjun, a run for his money, because he's been finishing very close to him every single weekend. So you think we're up seeing something similar this weekend?
For sure, Amit, throw anything at him, and he's up there. I've tried different games, and I have to tell you, they're all very different. It's not really that easy to jump into a Formula 1 game and then jump into iRacing, because the gameplay is completely different, even if you drive the exact same car. But Amit is one of those guys who, it doesn't matter to him what game he's playing. He'll just get in, he'll drive, and he'll perform, which is great to see.
Talking about cars, can you take us a little bit through about what these guys are driving today on this circuit? Because it's very different from what happened last weekend.
Well, last weekend was GT3. We were in America. We raced at Sebring. We raced at Watkins Glen. But this weekend we decided, let's get out of America for a change. Let's jump back into single seaters. Put a lot of drivers in their actual comfort zone, which is the Formula 3 car on iRacing, and go to England. Silverstone is always one of those historic circuits that we love to race at and love to watch racing. And when you mentioned the corner names earlier, it kind of gives you goosebumps. It gives all the listeners goosebumps, because it's almost like listening to Murray Walker. Don't worry, I'm not comparing you to Murray Walker.
I'd be. Would never insult the great man.
Never. But just saying those names out loud, just brings back those good old
little memories of
Formula 1.
I mean, that voice, he is the voice of Formula One. I mean, well, everyone watching today says it's Martin Brown and David Croft, but to me, it's always Murray Walker. Anyone who's watched Formula One in the 90s always knows that voice, or you watch the old racing videos, you know who the great man is.
Yeah, absolutely, and he still sounds exactly the same. Now let's jump back into this qualifying session. We're looking at Sohail Shah, but in the meantime, Arjun Maini has set the pace. He's done a 1 minute 30.9. One thing interesting about this session, we call it the lone qualifying, which means that these guys don't see each other on the track. They only are by themselves all alone, although you will see the times coming down here. So you and I will never see two cars together at the same time. The reason we do this is to give everybody the opportunity to get a clean lap because it's such a short qualifying session.
Absolutely.
And we don't want these guys to get caught up in traffic for no fault of theirs.
And each driver has a maximum of 4 laps at the end of it within this 10-minute qualifying session. So how they pace themselves out is important as well. Right now, I think on screen we've got Narain Karthikeyan with us. He's down in 9th place, about 3 seconds off the pace at the moment, with 3 minutes of qualifying to go. Narain's been playing with the setup quite a bit, and I think he and Maini need to have a quick conversation in terms of to get him a little quicker for this weekend. What do you think, Aditya?
Yeah, Narain, again, he's not someone who's always been a sim racer. Arjun has his hand behind the sims many a time over the last few years. He's got his own proper sim racing setup at home, but Narain, for this particular situation during the lockdown, managed to get together whatever equipment he could. He's got a Logitech G27, which is really pretty much as basic as it gets when it comes to a steering wheel. So for all that, he's really managing to pull the best he can out of this race car, and plus gaming is not something that he's been doing all these years, so it does take a while to get used to these things.
I don't think you put these guys against Narain in a real track. It's going to be hard to beat him with all the experience he has. But then that said, here he comes across the line. I wonder what he's putting a 1:34.4. So there he is. He's still about 3.0, about 3 seconds off the pace. Brings me then back the guys in the top. So we have Arjun Maini, Sanjay, and we have Sohail Shah as well. Sai Sanjay and Sohail Shah. So these 3 guys, they've been setting the pace a couple of times all weekend. So I'm just trying to figure out even with Sohail Shah, he's helped us so much with the back end work here, and he's still putting the times in. It's brilliant to watch. But just as we were talking about that, we've got Karthik Tarni. He's such a quick young driver in India, and he's put himself right up there. What do you think about that up there?
I'm not surprised really. Karthik is one of those guys who's got a lot of experience on a sim once again. He's got his own sim academy, and a lot of youngsters, even on this particular grid, have gone and trained with him and trained under him. So he is naturally very, very quick in real life, but I can imagine he's super quick on the sim as well. But again, you were talking about Sohail Shah earlier. He's been working all week to help us get this off the ground. He's done everything right from the creatives you see on our Instagram to this particular creative you see on the screen, the graphics over here. He's done that as well. So he has put in a lot of hard work. And then just before this, he's hosting this particular session. And then he's like, guys, can I jump into the car now? Because I want to practice.
I've got to go practice.
So he does want to win as well.
I mean, I think that's there with all these guys when you watch them race. I think we've also got we've got these guys coming into the last 1 minute. So just thinking about this in terms of some of them have set up their cars probably a little aggressive for qualifying. So I think the guys at the back, they have set their cars up for the race early on and are just testing that setup up at the moment using qualifying to do so. So let's not count them out. We're talking to the likes guys down there as well. I'm just trying to figure out in terms of where these guys will be during the race, because we're down to our last minute in qualifying. Where do you think are the guys at the bottom? Do you think they've got something up their sleeve?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll definitely pick their pace up a little bit in qualifying, but they all run different setups. Some of them run a race setup, which means you probably won't be very quick in qualifying, but you're more consistent during the race over a period of time. And that's what I'd really be interested to see, because we've seen guys like Narain, Ronnie, Sebastian, who do this all the time. They usually end up somewhere in the midfield during qualifying, but the next thing you know, you find them in the top 5 within the race.
That's just crazy what you do. That's what we've seen every single weekend consistently. We've actually got Ronnie on track now, our stunt driver from Germany. He's been with us a couple of weekends. We're down to the last 10 seconds as well, so we're just following Ronnie around while we watch him. It's going to be great to watch Ronnie, because I think At the same time, while he's taken his time, brought back on, he's eventually going to get there. But yeah, well, we've just finished qualifying. The checkered flag has dropped. Just hold back for a second. We're going to be gridding just a little bit, but we have Arjun, Maini, Sai, Sanjay, and Karthik Tarni as top three. Should be good to go for the race now.
Yeah, that's a great top three actually. I'm really looking forward to this one. So Karthik has been struggling the last few weeks. He's always been there and somewhere around, seventh, eighth, but he's got himself now into the top three, and I'm sure he's been wanting to get himself in this particular position to fight for the win. He's also been talking about how quick Sai Sanjay can be, and he was actually mentioning last night on our WhatsApp group saying that I want to beat Sai Sanjay. That's it. So he's got his target set.
I think it's going to be great to watch him today. If he's going to beat Sai Sanjay, he's up for a battle, because here we have the grid that's formed up. We have Arjun Maini in first place, Sai Sanjay in second, Karthik Tarni, unbelievable lap in third, but Kuti been consistent all through in fourth, Sohail Shah in fifth, Advait Deodar in sixth, Vishnu Prasad around the block a bit in seventh, Chetan Korada in eighth. This is going to be a wonderful top eight that we see here. But just in this, I think there's some really, really strong contenders just in this top screen alone, which is Arjun Maini, we've got Amit Kuti, we've got Shah, Karthik Tarni. So all these guys are going to be going for it. And at the back of the grid, we've got Kaushik Mohan Raja, Najib Ahmed, Sebastian Gurnett, Narain Karthikeyan in 12th. We're going to see what he can do from there. This is going to be very, very impressive to watch. We've got Ankush Yetru, Chetan Sureni, Oni in 5th, and Vikas Anand in 16th. That is our grid for today. So let's see what's what. Chetan, good job, Chetan. This has been quite a run for you. Aditya, are we set for this? Are we excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like I said, the top three itself has already got me excited. There's Sohail also who's there who wants to really do well. Amit Kuti. So these guys up there in front are really going to give us a proper race to watch. And don't forget Narain and Ronnie, who are going to be coming from behind. They've got their cars set up for the race. They're ready for the long run. And it's going to be a great battle, I think, up and down the field. But I'm really hoping for a clean first corner and a clean first lap. That's going to be the most important.
And like we do always in Formula 3, this is going to be a rolling start on iRacing. We start at the start line. We're going to go a lap with safety car in front, with the guys warming their tires up, setting the strategies, getting their minds right. While the safety car takes us around this track, I think the guys in the race setup, I think the guys at the back with the race setups are going to have some tricks up their sleeves. And let's not count anything out from the first corner. It's going to be, I can only predict from everything that I've seen in the last couple of weeks, I can only predict a couple of guys knowing each other. It's going to be a surprise, by corner 3, corner 4, who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, for sure. And also, these guys are going to keep in mind the pit stops. So they're going to strategize a little bit, try not to fight too hard. The sprint races that we've had over the last couple of weeks meant that they had to fight on track. But here the strategy is also going to play a role. Half an hour is a long time, and the pit stops, you never know what they can throw at you. We've seen that in Formula 1. We've seen that in all forms of motorsport, actually, that pit stops can just change things completely.
Absolutely. I mean, these guys are going to strategize well. I mean, if we do have any chance, any means, if someone wants to go in early, we have a safety car, they want to change their tires, bring it on ours and go for the long stint, it might work. Some of the front runners might think about it, but pit stops for sure are going to play a big role in this, because you might be leading, but you have that one extra lap, you go and you might burn your tires out, and the guy behind you is already pitted, he might go for the undercut. I mean, there's so many things you could play for while these guys are racing. So he's gotten really close to the safety car there.
Yes, absolutely. He loves doing that. He loves playing around a little bit. You see what he's doing there.
He's just like a true racing driver, just always saying the safety car is way too slow for him. I don't think he likes that. But it's fun to watch.
All drivers do that, especially on this long, frustrating formation lap. I don't think it's ideal for any of them.
These cars are quick, so at these speeds, I wonder how much temperature they're actually getting into their tires. So. But that being said, we've still got a great top 3. If you're just joining us, we're on the formation lap. It's a rolling start. We're here at Silverstone for the UltimateE lockdown weekend. We have a 30-minute race ahead of us. It includes one pit stop. We have Arjun Maini starting on pole. We have some big names for you as well. And I'm joined with Aditya Patel, who's another unbelievably. He's probably a little legend in my books for the stuff he's done for Indian motorsport.
You're too kind, Gunjan.
I try to be Aditya as much as I can. Yeah, I mean, while these guys go around the block, around the old circuit, I think the trip is coming up. Where we should see them go up and about. But
Oh, they're already bunching up quite a bit over here, actually.
yep, he's bunching them up, and you no longer
And he's already made a run for it. And
He's made a run for it. I can see he's off. He's off. Arjun Maini is going. Arjun Maini is off. Up, Arjun Maini is gone. He is now flying through the field. The guys behind him gonna have a tough time catching him. But right behind him, you've got Sohail, you've got Karthikeyan. They're down at the first corner. That was beautifully taken by Arjun. All right, I can see a couple of cars going off at the back. This is gonna be. I see a couple of cars going off at the back, but we've actually had a decent first corner. Believe it or not, we haven't had a pileup. We haven't had a crash yet. This is unbelievable.
We haven't seen this in the last 4 weeks. I'm really happy actually that this is
Guys,
happening. Yesterday we did a mock race and the drivers were everywhere and complaining. So,
I'm glad we haven't seen any cartwheels yet, but I think this is where we're going to be talking about when they come down through. Arjun Maini is still in the lead. He's pulled away quite massively right now. And when they're
watching the battle between and that's Sohail who's gone off with somebody. I'm not sure who it was with Sohail, but it was Amit Kuti in the front, and then it was
Sohail Shah has gone off. We thought these guys were behaving themselves, but just around Luffield and Woodcourt. Oh man, they've gone off and they've gone off hard. I'm still waiting for the official classifications to come in to see who exactly is in lead, so I can tell you guys. But we are on lap 1 at the moment. We're still going through with Arjun Maini in the lead. He's still setting quick laps, but he's got Sohail Shah, I think, right behind him. Very, very close to him, in fact.
So that's Sai Sanjay, in fact, actually. We've lost Sohail Shah in the crash. We have Sai Sanjay who's right behind in that unmistakable Red Bull livery. And in third place, I'm pretty sure, still Karthikeyan. And he's followed by, third, I would say, Amit Kuti in fourth. So the top 4, it's going to be a mighty battle between them.
And top 4 mighty battle, 28 minutes to go. This is going to be absolutely crazy to watch. With that being said, let's just take a breather after the first lap just being completed. It's been a pretty impressive lap, I must say. I expected a lot worse going into turn 1 and turn 2.
Thank goodness, it's a long race, and these guys definitely want to stay in the race, not throw it away right in the beginning. But unfortunately, Sohail did have that incident. I'm not sure with who just yet. We should get information very soon. But that being said, for the rest of them, I think now they can kind of sit back, relax, and plan the rest of their race.
It's just about settling down into that pace, settling down in that rhythm, settling down in that groove, figuring out when they want to pit. That's the crucial bit over here. Figuring out when they want to pit, because you've got 30 minutes and a mandatory pit stop. So you can see the guys up front. I mean, they might make a break for it. They might want to pull away a little bit. Then at the same time, you've got the guys at the back who might just make an early pit stop, get onto those hard tires earlier, and see if they can stretch it for the longest time.
Yeah, there we see Ronnie making a move. You see him already up to 7th place. So Ronnie is battling hard and he's made his way up quite a bit here.
But Ronnie is actually doing really well. He started way down. He started way back down in 16th place. And now he's up in the 7th. That's an unbelievable move he's just pulled. I think Ronnie's skills on the wheel on the sim seem to be superior, which also gives the guy behind him a run as well. So this is gonna be a good race all the way to the end. That being said, we've settled down. We're only about 4 minutes into racing at the moment. We've still got a long way to go, so we're gonna be good to watch. But here we're following Ronnie, who's a stunt driver from Germany. He's participating in the UltimateE. And this is going to be, we're watching him defend his position very, very hard. What do you think is going to happen right here? Because Bjorn is coming right up against him. He's on his tail. And right behind him, we've got Kotadia. So we've got a very, very tight gap for 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yes, a close battle here. But I know Ronnie. Ronnie was an engineer of mine a few years ago and also a driver coach. So his motto in life is to always look in front. Don't look in the mirrors, don't look behind you. Look in front and go where you need to go. And he's got his sights set on Narain Karthikeyan. He doesn't really care about who's coming at him from behind. But that being said, Vikash has also got his sights set on Ronnie. So Vikash is going to push as hard as he can to make sure he makes that move.
In all that chaos, we've seen Narain and Ronnie that started way down, almost at the back of the grid, up in 6th and 7th right now. And the way, I don't know how that's happened, but we've kind of missed the shots over there, what's happened in the back in the beginning. For them to come straight back up, I mean, that's almost 10 places for each of them. And now he's only 5 seconds off, so it's pretty good. That's pretty good, I think. And I think Ronnie's catching him at this point in time. So you've got between 6th and 9th, it's going to go all the way down to the wire. Which brings me back to our top 3 at the moment. We've got Arjun Maini, Sai Sanjay and Karthik Tarni. Arjun Maini is just about eked the gap of about 1/10, about 2/10 at the moment. But still very, very tight behind him.
Yeah, that's the thing about Arjun, he set the pace for that couple of laps. He'll look behind him, he knows the gap he's got, and then he paces himself really well. You'll notice that Arjun won't really run away unless the guys behind start making mistakes. He always manages his tires, he's very good at that. But over the last few weeks, we have seen Arjun make a few mistakes every now and then. In fact, he texted me and said, I better stop being like Sebastian Vettel and spinning all by myself. So I don't want to put a commentator's curse on him, but I'm just saying it. I'm putting it out there and telling him, Arjun.
Let's not. The infamous Sebastian Vettel front axle does not need to be repeated here. I don't think he needs it. I don't think he wants to hear that either. So let's leave the little bits and pieces out. That being said, I mean, if you go all the way to the back of the grid, we've still got the guys like Sohail Shah, Advit Deodar, Chetan Korada, who are slightly further up. Something's happened back there, so we need to figure out what happened. So maybe we'll bring them in a little later through our commentary, over the next 20 minutes or so, and see if they have a minute to chat with us, if they're not too hardened to battle.
But that being said, in the meantime, by watching Ronnie and Vikash, you were right. Vikash is now really charging for Ronnie. Ronnie's got his mirrors filled with this bright car of Vikash and here.
He's got him so close right now. I mean, Vikash he's really good on the sim, and he's putting Ronnie under some massive pressure. They come
and
down.
He sent him off. He's put the pressure on Ronnie, and he's made
Ronnie's made the mistake. Yep, Ronnie's made that mistake. My God, Vikash. You made Ronnie make that mistake. He's not going to be happy. I think Ronnie's going to come back at him very, very soon, very, very hard. I don't think Ronnie's going to give that position back. Ronnie's back on track.
Was that Amit Kuti and Karthik Tarani we saw there? Yes, that was Amit Kuti and Karthik Tarani.
Yes, it was. Yep, it was Amit Kuti and Karthik Tarani. We're riding now with Amit Kuti at the moment. Oh, he's spun. He's a spinner for Amit Kuti. Karthik Tarani has just spun, but he's got it. He's got it back actually. I think that was Vishnu Prasad behind him who spun. Amit Kuti.
There's a lot going on here actually.
There's a lot going on.
Who's fighting with Ronnie and Vikash here. Vikash has actually got ahead of Ronnie as we watch on the stream, and he's made that move stick. He's actually pulling away from Ronnie.
He's made it stick. That is unbelievable. How did Vikash?
No, that's Oshan. That's sorry to say, but that's Oshan. That's not Vikash. Vikash is actually behind. I think I got them mixed up a little bit. That's Oshan. That's great stuff by Oshan.
That's Oshan ahead of Anand. Yep, that's Oshan ahead of Anand. So something's gone on because something's happened to Oshan and Anand because now they're 6 seconds behind Ronnie, right? They were about.
No, it's actually, if you look at the positions here, you'll actually see it's 5, 7, 8. So who's in 6th place? Karthik has dropped down to 6. Narain is up to 5th.
I think.
So they keep refreshing every time they cross the line. You'll see the positions come up. Now we've got Oshan in 6th.
Oh, now as they cross the line, we now have Arjun Maini in first. So 20 minutes ago, Arjun Maini, Sai Sanjay, Aditya Kuti, Vishnu Prasad, Karthik Tarni, Narain Karthikeyan, Oshan Kotadia, Ronnie, Anand, Shru, Chetan Koradia, Surneni, Deodar, Sohail Shah, Gurneet Ahmed, and Mohan Raja. So this is our top 17 at the moment. We still have a great battle up front. We still have Karthik Tarni, who's about half a second behind. Now I think something happened to Tarni because he's
Karthik is now in 12th. He's dropped back
in 12th place.
I think he may have made a pit stop. I'm not sure, but he has dropped back to 12th.
I think because we're in that zone, I think, Aditya, now, coming 10 minutes into racing, where these guys are going to start thinking about pit stops, start thinking about strategies. Where do you think you take this pit stop currently, and what do you think your strategy would be if you were racing one of these cars?
Well, I think if I were in Karthik Tarani's position, now would be a good time for me to jump into the pits, because then I think I should be able to get the car to the finish line. But someone like Arjun Maini, Sai Sanjay, who have a clear road in front of them, they would probably wait till the halfway point, probably 15 minutes into the race, and then dive into the pits and go out at that point. But for someone like Karthik, he's quicker than the cars in front of him. He knows he's going to be quicker than them, and he doesn't want to waste time trying to find his way through. So he would rather pit right now and drive till the finish. That's what I think he should do. But let's see.
Well, let's see if he can. It'll be great to watch. It'll be great to watch if he can do that. I mean, those tires on and then pushes and puts in some solid qualifying laps. But when he brings it back, and hopefully these guys pit and he's able to keep that pace up, Karthik Tarni could actually catch these guys. And so we see him. So we now see. I think we're now on board now with Chetan Korada as well.
We're looking at Arjun right now, and I think we just missed that onboard shot with Chetan. Looking at Arjun Maini, who's got Sai Sanjay not too far behind him. Sai is actually sticking with him, not losing touch with him. So,
Sai is
good to see actually. Sai is
good to
holding
see.
on to him.
Sai is holding on to him. Yep, Sai is actually holding on to him. This is a good battle. But I think here we're watching Chetan Korada and Karthik Tarni battle. For 10th and 11th.
This is what I was saying, and this is what I was saying about Karthik Tarani. He's going to find himself in battles up and down, and it's going to lose him a lot of time, and this is losing him time every corner.
But he's gone wide. I think Chetan's gone wide, and Karthik hands that place over to Karthik Tarani. I think Karthik Tarani said thank you very much. On his way he goes, but here we have Narain. Narain, I think, has just had a spin in 8th place. I think he's now dropped down into 8th place. He just had a little spin over there. It's not going to be best for him, but back on board with Karthik Tarni. Chetan's Karthik Tarni is chasing him. He's now chasing as hard as he can. He's chasing Chetan, so let's see if he can get him. But at the same time, are we seeing Chetan Korada chase Karthik Tarni? Sorry,
it's Chetan chasing Karthik. Yeah, that's right.
Chasing Karthik.
Fast Chetan. Chetan has been very, very quick actually in today's qualifying. And I'm very impressed to see that because, Chetan, he did struggle a bit the last few races. He was there and thereabouts 14, 15. But to get into the top 10, super job by him. And to actually now give chase to Karthik, who has fallen back, but to give chase to him and stay with him, it's going to help him a lot. And I think they'll start catching up with the guys in front. Narain has dropped back quite a bit. He's in 11th now. Karthik
he has, but talking about the guys in front, we've got Arjun Maini, who's been followed very, very closely by Sai Sanjay. So
you're right. He's less than a second behind him.
It's less than a second. Sai Sanjay is on him. I mean, who would have ever thought this would be possible? But knowing Arjun Maini and knowing that skill set that he has, and if he has the lead, especially when he's really, really good when he's in the lead, figures out a way to pace himself. He figures out a way to build that gap, even if it's a second. It doesn't really bother him because he's very, very consistent across his lap times as he goes through. So do you think?
That's what I was saying.
I don't think. I think Sai Sanjay was a threat, or he's just got to pressure Arjun Maini into a mistake at the moment. Like Sanjay needs to put in some qualifying laps. But I think we've seen a lot of these guys do their pit stops because now we can see the timing screens on our left has gone a little haywire. We've got a couple of large gaps arriving, so we do know that some people run off or they have pit stops. That said, we still have our top guys, Arjun Maini, Sai Sanjay, Aditya Kuti, all battling it for Aditya Kuti. I mean, we haven't said much about Amit Kuti. My bad. Amit Kuti, we haven't talked much about him this race. He's been so consistent all through, but a lonely kind of battle right now. But lonely kind of race in 3rd place at the moment.
You're right, but he did have that incident with Karthik Tarani that we saw early on, and I don't think Karthik's going to be very happy about it because I remember Karthik was actually in front of Amit and I think they made contact. So it was probably Amit trying to be a little ambitious. And damage in this game is pretty strong. So if he did make contact with Karthik, he's definitely got some amount of damage as well.
A little bit of wing damage, I think, in the process is why we see him. But even with that wing damage, I think with Amit Kuti, Karthik Tarni, we've only got to wait to see what happens towards the side after the race. But being said, he's got a lonely race. But then we've also got a couple of guys down the field. We've got Sohail Shah in 16th. We just see someone come out of the pits. But we've also got Surneni, Mohan Raja, Gurneet Ahmed, Deodar, and Narain Karthikeyan now down in 15th place. So this is going to get interesting because we're now going to be down to our last 15 minutes. And to be honest, the gaps aren't as large as I thought they would be. It's not like we have a 4-5 second gap out ahead in front. It's actually quite close. So as the race goes on, these guys try to conserve their tires. I wonder if we might just see towards the last couple of minutes actual battle on our hands throughout the pack. Aditya.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to get to see something as exciting as that. I'm sure Sai is also planning long term. He's not the kind of guy who'll just make a move unnecessarily. He's a very smart thinking driver. We've actually seen Sai come through the ranks in actual racing, and again, very calm, very composed. He thinks while he's driving. He's not the kind of guy who will just throw it all away. So I'm pretty sure we'll see him do some good stuff. But going down the pack, you're right. Everybody is fairly close. We've got Amit, who's in third, and fourth place right now is Oshan. But what's actually mixing it up now is the pit stops. Everybody has entered that particular window where they're starting to make stops. We saw Chetan just coming out of the pit earlier on. Narain had spun, and I think he made pit stops. So everyone is starting to now put it in the pits. There you see Sai also jumping in the pits.
Jumping in the pits now, yep.
It is that window, and it's going to shuffle things around, and we'll really see where people are once the pit stops are done.
And then, this is a superb drive. If you look at the top 5 so far, you've got Oshan. He started last, and he's up in the 4th right now with all the pit stops, everything going on. So the pit stops are going to mess the field up a bit. We're going to see the guys on top maybe come out of the back. The guys at the back maybe come out in front, depending on where they all stop and what their in-laps and out-laps are. Because how important Aditya in sim racing compared to real racing, or in-laps and out-laps especially?
It's as good as real racing, that's why it's called sim. It simulates real life. They try and make it as equal as it can be to reality, and I think that's very important, and something that drivers keep in mind when they come out of the pits on cold tires. That lap really matters. And even Arjun now on his in lap, he's going to need to take advantage of the fact that Sai is on cold tires and is probably going to be slow on his out lap, and he needs to make sure that he does just enough to come back out of the pits in front of Sai.
Absolutely, because he's got to dive in the pits with everything being reshuffled, because I still see Oshan up in 2nd place now. I don't think he's pitted yet. Ronnie's up in 4th. So as the time, I think Amit Kuti is still in 5th. So these are the guys you can see that haven't really pitted yet. So this is I think as they come across the line, we're going to get a bit more in terms of who's actually, the field will sort itself out. We'll refresh the standings on the left-hand side as well, so we know who's where. At the moment, we've still got Althea Maini as our screen show in P1, driving a sublime race, controlling the pack all the way from the front. I think he's been oblivious to the carnage behind him that's gone on, the changes, what's going on. He's just driven his own race, cool, calm, and composed. And yep, I think a lot of guys watching him drive can learn a couple of things on how to work out how to be cool, calm, and composed through this. But I think, Althea, do you think it's time to bring maybe Arjun or Sai on to chat with us for a quick bit?
I would love to have a chat with Arjun actually, and know what's going through his head while he's driving around all by himself actually.
Let's get Arjun on. Arjun, hi, Arjun Althea here with you. Hey guys, how are you doing? How are you enjoying this race with 12 minutes to go?
Yeah, Sai was quite quick. I think he didn't have the right amount of fuel on for qualifying, so he's a lot quicker than he was in quali. So I've had to do no mistakes this race so far, and it's been alright.
You've put no wrong. Do you have any idea what's happened behind you in the entire race, or you've just been focusing on yours?
Well, I've seen a lot of the blue flag cars, so I sort of guessed there's been a shunt. But actually the tires are getting quite bad now as we speak, so I don't know. I was not going to change tires originally, just putting fuel. Oh, somebody spun in front of me.
Yeah, that was close. That was really close.
Was close. Yeah, back marker right in front of you going in the pit lane. I think.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know. I'll decide over the next few laps whether I'm going to change tires or not, but I think it's not worth it.
You think, with 11 minutes to go, that's your call to do, but you lose a little more time in the pits. But being said, just want to say thank you for joining us. Just want to pick your head a little bit, and best of luck with the remainder of the race.
Thank you very much.
So there we had it from Arjun, who is very. You hear it from these guys as they're driving, and you know exactly what's going through their minds. It's really wonderful to hear, because he's thinking in his head as he's driving at these speeds, trying to avoid back markers spinning in front of him.
Yeah, that was that was interesting actually. Suddenly here, I was like, what's happening here? What's happening?
Yeah, with that, it's really interesting to know the kind of things that they're thinking about, because these guys have a feel. So he knows he needs more fuel, but he's also feeling his tires, trying to figure out if he needs more. He's got about a 30-second gap to Oshan right now. So you don't never know what he might do in the pits.
Yeah, you know, he's got to choose now between jumping on new tires and possibly coming out of the pit behind Sai Sanjay, but he does have over a 30-second gap to him. Or he's got to decide and tell himself, okay, I'll go in, I'll just fuel, I'll come out, and I'll hold off Sai Sanjay till the end of the race. So he's got to play these options because Sai is flying right now.
And Sai is right.
Yeah, he's catching Oshan right now, who's in front of him.
He's catching Oshan right now. Who's in front of him? Oshan, definitely has not done a pit stop yet. It's great to see him up there in second, also saddled all the way down at last place. Let's see how long he can hold Sai off, because Sai is very, very close to him, pressuring him right now. Giving him a look on the inside, letting him know he's right there.
But it's going to slow him down, you know, and it'll play in Arjun's hands.
This is now just playing in Arjun's hand because Sai is losing a lot of time. But there we go. I think Sai Sanjay's got on him. Oshan's let him go past. That does not look... Yeah, he didn't defend very aggressively there.
Smart move, actually. You know, Oshan knows that he's got a lot to learn from someone like Sai, and it makes no sense just slowing him down unnecessarily. So he's just let him go. But just look at him right now. He's trying to hold on to the back of him.
And you know, for someone like Oshan Hole, I mean, you can learn a lot following these guys on track. I tried my hand at the PlayStation a couple of weeks ago, and there's a lot I learned out of a couple of guys racing here as well. Just following these guys, you know where their braking points are, you know where the lines are, you know where they're turning in, turning out, when they're accelerating. It's really, really great for someone like to follow the other guy, just know how they're driving and if they want to improve their driving styles as well. But he's holding on. I mean, I can see Sai is now losing him a little bit. But that also gives Arjun Maini a 32-second lead now going into crucial times in the pit. So let's see what he decides, because with 8 minutes left, Aditya, would you change those tires?
Yeah, well, I honestly wouldn't, because I know when I get out of the pit, I've got only about 6 minutes to go, and if that means I'm going to get out of the pit a couple of seconds of Sai Sanjay, at the end of the day, I'm still in front of him, and that's what I need. But changing the tires would also mean that I'd get out behind him, and getting out behind a driver, especially in the closing stages of the race, is not ideal. You don't want to be in that situation.
You want to be in that dirty hand. I think there we have Arjun Maini pitting right now. So let's see what he does. I think he's a 20-second quick pit stop. He should ideally come out ahead of Sai Sanjay. This is going to be close because Sai Sanjay now is going around, I think, the final bend. Yes, and Arjun Maini, first corner now, yep. And yep, there he has it. Arjun Maini is back in the lead, but Sai is not very, very far from him. 8 seconds that he had. So Arjun Maini has planned this to perfection. I think he's gone in there. I think he's made the decision. Let's put in fuel and no tires. So with that going on, let's see if his tires hold on, because Sai behind him just has fresher tires at the moment. So never know what might happen, because we still have 7 minutes of racing to go.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be hard for Sai to catch him right now, and I'm pretty sure Sai's strategy was, if he's lost so much time, his strategy was probably to change tires and fuel during his pit stop. Whereas Arjun, very smart, he's watched the gap between himself and Sai and said to himself, okay, look, I'll just go, fuel, splash and dash, and head to the finish line, because if Sai catches him, he's got all the experience in the world to hold him off.
Absolutely. So let's just, I mean, this is going to go down to the wire, and I'm excited for this. While it might look like 7 seconds is a long gap and 6 minutes to close, anything might just happen like we've seen here. I mean, we've had people crashing in the background, we've had people spinning, we've had people all over the place at the moment, but from what we're seeing right now, the top 10 stand as they are. This is, I think, after they've done all their pit stops. We've got Arjun Maini, Sai Sanjay, Oshan Kotadia, who I think has a pit stop left. I don't think he's pitted yet. We have Amit Kuti, Karthik Tadni, Vishnu Prasad, Ronnie Washberger, Anand Yasru, and Chetan Korada in the top 10. So this is going to be interesting, because there is a little bit of a gap between these guys at the moment. Some of them, like you see Oshan up ahead, has not pitted. We see him out braking himself right now, and he's got Karthik Tadni right behind him again. This battle's been going on for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's a great comeback drive from Karthik, because I'm pretty sure...
Oh, I think we just... Is it me or... Oshan just spun. I don't think Karthik Tadni put the pressure on behind him. Oshan has just spun. I think he's also on really, really old tires.
He lost it all by himself.
All by his lonesome. And now he's also being overtaken, I think, now by Karthikeyan, Vishnu Prasad have him, I think, now. So, Roshan is tough luck, buddy. That was a good run while it lasted, but I think you need new tires.
I'm quite intrigued actually. I don't know why Oshan hasn't pitted because he is struggling quite a bit, and I'm not sure the field's going to last him till the finish line. So it would make a lot of sense for him to pit. I'm just quite intrigued as to why he's not.
Ideally, when a driver loses it, you know he's got old tires. If he's overtaken by someone behind him who's faster, and especially the spot he spun was at the entry of the pit entrance. So he could have driven in if he wanted to. But it's gonna be close and good to watch. See what he can do towards the end. This might be a surprise up our sleeve.
Yeah, for sure. But someone I'm really impressed by right now is Karthik, obviously, and he's still got to stop. He hasn't yet made his stops.
He has not made his pit stop. You're absolutely right there, and he's still got about 7 seconds behind Amit Kuti. But he might just come out with that gap he has to Vishnu if he pits just for fuel. I think he just might come out ahead of Vishnu Prasad and hold him back, as long as he doesn't get caught in any more earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I think what he's trying to do is actually build enough of a gap to Vishnu who's behind him, and then make that splash and dash just before the end because it's 4 minutes to go, and that should actually get him out in front of Vishnu.
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully it does get him out ahead of Vishnu. Otherwise, this is all going to be a wild gamble then for him. Otherwise, if he doesn't get him out of ahead of Vishnu. I mean, but it's great to watch these little strategies going on up and down the field, even though there's only 4 minutes to go. While most of the grid has finished their pit stops, there are these couple of wild cards in there who haven't and who have got comfortable gaps between them and the other guys. One never knows. I mean, if Karthikeyan does roll the dice now and goes in, do you think he'll come out ahead of Vishnu Prasad? Who knows? But right back on top, we've got Arjun Maini, who is now leading with Sai Sanjay behind. Amit Kuti. This is settled down as a top three as it was in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Top 3 as it was in the beginning, but again it was. Oh, who's that? That's Oshan.
Is that Oshan's made contact with
Vishnu? Was it?
Is that Vishnu?
I don't see it.
Yeah, I think Oshan has. I think Oshan has made contact.
You're right, it's with Vishnu, and this actually gives Karthik Tarani the advantage.
This gives Karthik a huge advantage right now. Because if he hasn't pitted, this is going to be fun.
But why hasn't Karthik pitted? Because pit stops are mandatory, and Karthik hasn't pitted. How is he making it to the finish line? He normally wouldn't be able to make it to the line, unless he's pitted and we missed it somewhere, but that's impossible because he's too close to Amit Kuti.
Exactly, and talking about Karthik Tarni and Oshan, who had that little collision, they've actually rivals going back all the way to the Polo Cup. So they've probably had a couple of bits and bangs over the years, but here we see
and
them
we're
again.
seeing their driver coach from the Polo Cup.
From the Polo Cup, going straight off, and that's given Vikash the opportunity to close right back. Oh, Ronnie has just lost. I think Ronnie's gone off completely into the barriers.
Yeah,
I think that's
to do some repairs. That's unfortunate. So close to the end, and Ronnie was doing really well as well.
Yeah, Ronnie was doing really well. Come back in the top 10 was brilliant by Ronnie. This is a couple of surprises because now this brings Chetan Korada and Yeturu back up in the top 10. So it's gonna be good to watch at the end. I mean, we still have about the last 3 laps to go now as it's come down to the wire. 3 laps to go. We stand with Arjun Maini, Sai Sanjay, Aditya Kuti, Karthik Tarni, Sean Kodaria, Vikas Anand, Vishnu Prasad, Ronnie Welshberger, Yeturu, and Chetan Korada at the moment. So it does look this is our top 10 at the moment. It does look it does look rather interesting. So this is the way. I mean, who knows where they all started? But what I think is we've had a great race. So.
Yeah, we've had a great race actually. So much has been happening up and down the field. A lot of drivers have been having incidents as well.
Yep, a lot of drivers having incidences. I think with 2 laps to go, Sai Sanjay seems to have about an 8-second lead over Amit Kuti right now. Do you think it's a good time to bring him in just to say hi to him with 2 laps to go and get his thoughts on the race?
Yeah, I think it would be a great time to bring him in.
All right.
It's always great to actually have a chat with someone while they're driving the car. I just hope it doesn't distract them too much. But it's interesting to know that they're sitting at home, holding onto a steering wheel and driving around the circuit.
talking to us at the same time. I mean, now I feel like a Ferrari pit wall engineer, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Sai, welcome. How are you? We've got 2 laps to go. How are you doing in second place? You've had a long race, so give us your thoughts on this race.
Yeah, I think I pitted a bit early. Maybe I should have gone a lap or 2 more and then pitted, because now Arjun is pulling away a bit.
He's got about 5.5 seconds ahead of you right now, but it's been a monster drive from you. You've controlled that second place all the way from the beginning. You were very, very close to Arjun in the front. That pit stop gamble between the two of you. Do you want to talk us through that a bit?
Yeah, I messed up the pit stop a bit. With I didn't assign the pit limiter, so I lost a lot of time there.
Oh man, I mean, we always learn from our mistakes, but I hope you're on the last lap. I'm gonna let you go right now. But thank you for joining us and thank you for racing. So it's been great watching you.
Thank you.
It's okay, I'm back with Aditya now. We're on the last lap. So Aditya, here we are with Arjun, Maini, Sai Sanjay, Amit Kuti right on our top 3 for the last lap. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's been an interesting race so far. You know, we haven't had this format before. We've always done 2 sprint races, but now because it's such a long race, drivers had to strategize a little bit. And obviously, just as you'd expect, everybody starts to space out. It's not so close like you'd have in a sprint race. But it's been interesting because so much has happened. People have been made their way all the way up to the top 5, like Ronnie, for example, and then he's dropped back. Oshan has made his way up, and Oshan is holding on to it. And Oshan he started dead last. Remember that, and he's running in 5th place.
5th place. So I think that's that for me. If we had to do it, who would your driver of the day be?
My driver of the day would have to be Oshan. He made a smart move. He did actually pit when he spun early on in the race, and Karthik did that as well. And they both made it to the finish line.
And there we have it. We have Arjun Maini across the finish line in 1st place. I think it's a superb drive from him. Another win. We've got to get some guys up there. So we've got to get new names up there, I think, in the future. He's been so consistent, Arjun Maini. Well done. Congratulations. We have Sai Sanjay in 2nd. Amit Kuti in 3rd. Karthik Tadni now coming around the last corner. He's coming around the last corner in 4th place. So that's been a great drive. And as you can see, you see a couple of cars that are crashed across the track. These guys love ramming their cars in the barriers. I don't know for what reason. At the end of it, I'm guessing no damages. Some of these guys will be
because they can. Basically, because they can.
Because I don't think Darara's going to get a bill after this. So I think they can do what they want right now. So they're quite happy doing so.
But here you have my driver of the day crossing the line.
Absolutely, Oshan. Brilliant drive by him crossing the line there. I think his strategy paid off. But here we go. There we have it, Aditya. Our first UltimateE lockdown 30-minute race provided a lot of excitement. We have Arjun Maini who finished 1st, Sai Sanjay in 2nd, Amit Kuti in 3rd, Karthik Tadni in 4th. Oshan Kotadia, our driver of the day between Aditya and I, have decided that drive from last to 5th, absolutely brilliant. Monster drive. Well done. Kash Anand in 6th. Ankush Yetru in 7th. Ethan Korada in 8th. Ronnie Welchberger again started at almost the back of the pack. Back up to 9th. Had a couple of spins. Got back there in 9th. So great drive by him. Vishnu Prasad, old boy in 10th place. Ashik Mohan Raja in 11th. Najib Ahmed in 12th. Sebastian Gurnett in 13th. Narain Karthikeyan. Well, we hope to see a lot more of him. Narain, I thank you for joining us and I hope you can join us through the next couple of weekends. Advit Devdar in 15th, 16th Chetan Sereni, 17th Sohil Shah for all the hard work he's done. I mean, he's been such a great help for us as well. This is our top 17, our top drivers, and there we have it. Aditya, your thoughts?
Again, exciting racing. Obviously, a lot of them didn't finish this race. The guys lower down. We had a few incidents as well between Amit Kuti and Karthik Tarani earlier on.
Yep, we did. We had a couple of these guys who kept going up and down the field. We had a couple of spins. It was a great race. It had so much action. All through the all up and down the pack. I mean, I don't think I've seen 30 minutes go by so quickly. And I normally am a stickler for time, but this has been great.
That's been a very fast 30 minutes indeed. I think we just had Sai who hadn't muted himself and he was talking to somebody.
Apologies, technical difficulties.
That was amusing, but yeah, great racing. Unfortunately, we saw some incidents with people like Vishnu and Karthik Tarani, which dropped them quite far back, which meant they had to fight back. So, gave us some great racing in the bargain. But hopefully, next time we'll see a better mix up front and less incidents.
I hope so. I hope so. But this was a good one. Didn't have too many incidents up in front, especially in that first corner. I was surprised, and we can keep racing this clean. We've got some really, really great races lined up over the next couple of weeks as well. So it should be good to watch.
Yep, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Aditya, thank you very much for joining us on this weekend's UltimateE Lockdown GP at Silverstone. Just to remind you guys, Arjun Maini has won this race yet again on the iRacing series platform. It's been great having you all with us. Thank you, and we hope to see you next